When badass old anime characters makes a legendary entrance. Okay, that one might be actually interesting. I don't think I've seen a lot of old like badass
anime is generally a medium for the youth to enjoy and one that tickles their idealism. It also has no shortage of badass old men, older characters, grizzled veterans, and the like who have their fair share of awesome
except him, I
fights
guess,
and
from Hunter x
entrances.
Hunter.
So for today, we're going to be taking a look at my favourite moments where older characters showed that they still have it.
What do you consider old, though? You know, like
boot. We'll open up with a bang, thanks to the timeless classic Hunter x Hunter.
Yep.
You know what's
He actually
coming.
is a badass.
Dragon Dive. In an arc full of memorable moments, how could we ever forget the awesome entrance Netero and Zeno pulled? Netero is one of my favourite mentor characters, and he's got no shortage of cool moments. The way Dragon Dive was presented in anime form, the team truly nailed it. For the chairman of the Hunters Association, anything less would be a crime. The sheer awesomeness of the Dragon Dive only serves as a preview for other
Actually
memorable
such a
fights
cool
later in the
character,
arc. After all, he did steal the show with one of the most epic battles this arc gave us, matched only by the Gone Ones. This is a goosebump-inducing moment befitting of one of the best arcs shonen anime has ever seen. Next, we move on with Jirocho returning in glory.
Gintama? Oh damn!
When talking about
Actually
Jirocho, our
badass.
fondest memory of him is probably the moment in episode 211. Remember when he gave Gintoki a lesson in pain? An awesome fight filled with emotion which saw Gintoki actually go out and still lose. Almost 150 episodes later, he makes his grand return, and it's a scene that's nearly as
150.
memorable as that Gintoki fight. It's a scene that got fans
I'll be
going
back in
wild.
10 years.
Seeing Jirocho arrive with his gang to even the odds was something that some people expected, but all that knowledge doesn't make this moment any less awesome. After such a heated fight that they had before,
Damn.
it felt awesome to see Gintoki and Jirocho team up. The succeeding flashback also
That's
gives us
crazy.
some much-wanted backstory for Jirocho, shedding more light about his
Man,
past with
I thought Gintama was like mainly comedy.
Otose. In terms
some
of actual
badass
fighting, I
moves in
still
there.
have the fight against Gintoki as my best Jirocho moment, but this one's not too shabby in comparison.
Slice the building.
Anyone up for some badass butler action? Well, Walter's got you covered.
Helsing Ultimate? Oh,
Battle butlers are quite the fun trope in anime, don't you think so? We've got the Sebastians from both Black Butler and Overlord, but how about Walter from Helsing
Literally
Ultimate?
butlers,
With the
huh?
way I talked about Helsing in the previous videos, I wouldn't blame you for thinking it's the Alucard show. What if I tell you Walter's just as crazy OP and badass as our protagonist, but in his own way? Here, Walter gives our guests a very warm welcome, complete with razor wires, a very intimidating wall that's full of presence, and a methodical
just
approach to
walking and
chaos.
slashing.
Fight and struggle as they might, these enemies stand no chance, and it's old Walter we're talking
is his weapon just like what do you say, razor wire? That's
about here. Imagine
Damn.
Prime Walter coming in and laying waste to these fools. Sure, it's not as awe-inspiring as Alucard's feats and transformations, but when you consider the context and see what Walter at his current state is capable of, it's still a pretty damn good entrance and fight, isn't it? Fight is a stretch, actually. More like a slaughter, if you ask me.
yeah, that doesn't seem like they're putting much effort to kill him.
Jiraiya is here with a less talked about appearance.
Naruto! Oh, okay. We have not seen a lot of Naruto clips in a while.
Jiraiya is known for a lot of cool moments in the entire run of Naruto. However, one moment that I feel doesn't get enough focus is the time he saved Naruto and Sasuke from Itachi and Kisame. You know, the time
Hey?
way back when Itachi was still meant to be evil. It's a pleasant surprise to have Jiraiya appear just when our two protagonists are on the brink, and his appearance gives a much-needed dose of lightheartedness and relief in this moment of tension. And then Sasuke just had to try and steal the spotlight before getting punished for it.
Like
With that little
always.
commercial out of the way though, we get Jiraiya easily turning the tides, forcing the
Are they
villains
in
to
the Toad
escape,
or something?
all without those hack's eyes,
Oh,
demon beasts and the like. People are still debating now whether Jiraiya can take both of them or not,
What
but
was
I
that
think
flesh?
it's much less of a concern than just actually appreciating the moment, remembering Jiraiya for a pretty cool entrance and save that doesn't get talked about enough. Also, a subtle shot of power, as Itachi and Kisame both don't want a piece of him when they're not at full strength. Next up, we have Hideyoshi.
Sengoku Basara? Oh, I've not seen this at all.
There are many
Dude,
incarnations
looks like,
of Toyotomi Hideyoshi in anime, but are any
Wolverine
of
or
them as
something.
badass as the one from Sengoku Basara? Appearing on top of a hill, Hideyoshi bravely faces a literal horde of archers looking to give him a swift end.
Oh,
of course, though,
damn.
it's not meant to be. We're all expecting him
Is
to
this
pull
like a
something cool
medieval
to overcome the
fantasy
supposed
anime?
stacked odds. But did anyone actually expect him to step forward, draw no weapon, and simply just wave his hands, creating a shockwave strong enough to not only repel the
Bro.
rain of arrows, but to just send everything back, all by himself? It's nothing short of impressive, and he caps it off by
The
literally
guy seems a little bit strong.
opening the heavens that shine a spotlight on him. That's some major last boss vibes right there, I'm telling you. Just the apt entrance for someone who's, in my book, the most impressive amongst the major characters in this show. I mean,
Love the hair
imagine
too, man.
fighting and being such a big badass to dominate the battlefield without a single weapon. It doesn't get more hardcore than that, now, does
Imagine.
it? Yamamoto versus Yuha started off with an
Bleach.
explosion, if you will.
千年ぶりじゃな、ユンハばっか。お主の息
Yo,
の根を
what?
止めに来た。
For so long, we've all faithfully waited for the day when Yamamoto finally unleashes his full strength and shows us why he's the strongest of the Gote in the Captain Commander. Well, the time
Damn.
has finally come, and Yamamoto arrives in front of Yuha in a blazing inferno. It's an entrance that gave me and Bleach fans all over the world something to cheer for. Yamamoto's arrival, coming off utterly annihilating some Quincy slob, shines a ray of hope for the Shinigami,
Oh,
who've been
man.
dropping like flies beforehand. The atmosphere of this entry has been perfectly captured by the anime team, and it's followed by what many consider
The
to be
animation looks insane on this. Like,
the best episode
it's so well done. I would
of the
love to see that.
1000-year Blood Wars first core. A total showcase of power that gives credence to Yamamoto's title, one that I also featured in another video not so long ago. When even Aizen doesn't want to mess with you, you know you're something special, and Yamamoto proceeds to show us why in the following episode. King Bradley also has a pretty cool entrance and fight, if you ask me.
Why is there a tank there, man?
We've all seen Madara showcase the power scaling of his own series
damn.
universe with an impressive feat of soloing
Literally
an
a
entire
tank
army.
just
He's
came
not the
in.
first to do it. Granted, King Bradley may also not be the
What?
first one either, but this is one of the
Dude.
first memories I have of
Do you have a
villain
grenade in the back? Like, okay.
doing it. Imagine a guy going solo and just rushing everything down, leaving behind a trail
Literally
of
just
destruction. I mean,
slashing
it's the
through
stuff of
bullets.
nightmares if you're one of the poor soldiers caught in the crosshairs. All the time, King Bradley approaches his enemies with an uncanny, almost
kinda-
unnerving sense of calm, showing complete control over the situation.
That is pretty
when the
badass,
result
not
was
gonna
never
lie.
in doubt. And the most stunning part of this was once you settle down and look back at it, King Bradley wasn't in his prime. He's aged through the years
What?
and essentially approaching senior years at this point. This moment is memorable for a lot of things.
Oh,
It
so he's like a badass, but he's like already like old.
firmly established King Bradley as an immense threat who still mows down enemies like nothing, even way past his
Damn.
prime. We're wrapping this list up with none other than a One Piece
One
entry.
Piece.
Here's Rayleigh versus Kizaru. Back in the era of One Piece, when everything was just simpler, Rayleigh made an entrance that really left an impression. Just when Kizaru's got our heroes dead to rights, here comes this old man, kicking an attack away and taking over the battle. It's a moment that ages
I love his
extremely
hair.
well when you look back at it right now and think of the power scaling at the time. This is a guy who's really old, but at the same time, seeing him take on an admiral and actually keeping up with him was a thing that amazes you even more when you look back with hindsight. By all
Damn.
means, no one who's past his prime and that supposedly Rusty should be able to keep up with freaking Kizaru, but this man did it. I personally hope the fight would have lasted longer, but it's not exactly a serious fight in this case, is it? So that's understandable, I guess. Still, some amazing feats from
Was it
good
not a
old
real
Rayleigh
fight?
here. Who knows what Rayleigh in his prime can do?